Streaming. Goes. Good morning, everyone. All right. Well, good morning. Happy Thursday. Not really much running in the futures world here at the moment. The multi-chart that I like to use. Good morning, Kim. As always, like, share, and follow. Hit those screens. Let's get the algo pumping out there for us. Super helpful. Thank you. This is a multi-chart that I use out of Weevil to look for things like EWO, kicking off entry points. Natural gas here is about ready to kick off an EWO to the upside, but we got to break through all of this chatter right here, and I can see all of this at a glance. So for me to be able to just get a quick picture of where I may want to find something to trade, this is how I can do that. And you can see right now natural gas just on this mini chart is pulled back off of that double top quite handily. So an EWO to the upside might not be the best entry at this point. Just wait. I'm going to do a couple of things here. So if you've got any questions, please ask them. If you want me to take a look at a ticker, futures, crypto, otherwise, it doesn't matter. I'd like to stick to futures, but if you have something else you want to take a peek at, we can certainly do that. I should. While that's percolating over there, just to let you know that last chance to get any lifetime memberships, they are all going to be retired here at the end of the month. So if you are interested in a Diamond Lifetime, which includes all of our memberships all in one with no recurring payments for the rest of your existence, that's the way to go. Again, if you have anything you want me to take a peek at, go ahead and shout it out. Just doing a little bit of housekeeping here at the moment. Posting over to my socials like I'm asking everyone else to do. Here on the TikTok. Just like that. Done deal. Good morning, Strauss. Morning, Kai. Roger, good to see you. Strays over, good to see you. That looks like Mustang Chris right there. Good morning, Mustang Chris. Good morning, ZK Plus and Crippler. Anybody over on the YouTubes? Got 4 people over there. Good morning to everyone over there. All right. Good morning, newborn. My name is Doug. I'm a training moderator here with ADT. I focus on futures. Just real quick with the legal, everything that we talk about here is for training purposes only, and you are not to be encouraged to trade live with me while I show you some techniques and strategies are on a delay. And nobody here at American Dream Trading is a licensed financial tax advisor or can give investment advice. So, training purposes. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hit those likes, shares, and follows, please. You got any questions, type them out. This is your time. I'm here for you. All right, so we've got gold up here on a micro double top after a really nice move. This would have been the move that I would have rather been in. You could have jumped in on the retracement here and caught that bounce. Silver got a nice little move up here and has already made a new high earlier in the session last night. Natural gas is still fighting with this area up here at $3.848. And we've got oil that has broken the double top, but is now coming back down to retest said double top at $64.86. Good to see oil above $63 again. We were down in the high 50s there for quite some time. Looks like ES and NQ are a little bit diverged this morning. ES is on a bit of an up climb, and NQ can't seem to break its way out of consolidation on the bottom side of 26,175. Looks like the Russell got a nice little bounce off of 2663.6 this morning. To a nice high, broke that double top, came back down to find some support and did get a little bit of support, but is now wrestling with that same double top zone at 2673.2. Looks like the Dow has had a very large volume candle to the upside here at 6:30 this morning. I'm not really sure why that would have been. Look at some news here. News that came out. Anything scheduled anyway. Nothing obvious. Let's see, we got balance of trade at 8:30. Jobless at 8:30. Reports 8:30. Initial jobless claims. That's going to be a big one to watch right there. We'll keep an eye on that. Real quick, big candle came back down. Looks like we might come all the way down to this double top area here, which, by the way, would be about 50% of this large candle to the upside. So we'll have to wait and see on whether or not it finds support here or if it continues to break down and get back down to where it was at the start of that candle. And then the euro has been on a downtrend most of the early morning so far and is currently in consolidation. Not a whole lot of promising entries at the moment, but you can go to the actual chart and take a peek at that. Now, I was watching silver last night, did pretty well with respect to trading it on my account. And one of the things I was looking at on the larger time frame is that we have this overall trend to the downside once we made our previous new high and then came down and made a low. I snapped this range and was looking at it to break above the mean to come back up and tackle this new high. By the time I got out of the trades, it was about right around in here when I was snapping this trend line to the downside, and I was looking for a breakout to the upside. I did get the breakout, but the breakout was handily stopped right at the mean of that overall range, and it just couldn't break through that mean until we got the breakout here off of support of 117,435, which was off of this double top over here. I had a previous level snap there as a level of interest to watch. So as price action came back down, we found support off of the trend line, finally got the breakthrough of the mean, came back down, retested, and then meagerly worked our way back up until we got this explosion here at about 1 o'clock in the morning. Then we created our all-time high one more time before we pulled all the way back through the range, found support off of this double bottom here. Oops, and I can't, my keys. Here we go. So at 115.22 was a beautiful V-shaped recovery. One candle down, one candle up, engulfing to the upside, and then right back into the range, climbing right back up to that 117.435 I had snapped earlier, and we are now right back smack in the middle of the mean of that overall high to low range that I snapped last night before I went to bed. Here we go. Just a nice job, Phantom. All right, buddy, have a good day. Yeah, that's a heck of a couple of trades. Yeah, baby. Awesome. All right. Let's see. So that was my silver from last night. There's YM pulling right past that double top and reclaiming its almost the entire candle to the upside. Hey, Mark. Good morning. Let me know if you can hear me okay out there. It looks like everything's operating correctly, and I haven't changed any settings since yesterday, so let me know. Okay, so silver to the upside. We've got gold to the upside. Got oil broke down on its check of the double top here. Looks like we might try and find some help here at 64.67. Let's go take a peek at oil. I haven't looked at oil in a long time. Beautiful W pattern going on here. Yes, I would expect to find some level of support anywhere between here. Reason being is that I'm looking at specifically this high and this stutter step here, where we found support before we pushed up, stuttered before we broke down, stuttered on the way back up, stuttered on the way back down. So this range here, this small area, 64.65 to 64.48, pretty promising to me. Good morning, Jeff. Or is it Hefe? I think it's Hefe. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. Like, share, and follow. Hit those hearts for us. Any and all support is gratefully welcomed. All right, well, let's get an L2 up on the screen here. We can see oil. All right, so oil, we've got support at 64.67. 64.67 is right smack in the middle here. Actually, it's the bottom side of this range. So 64.67, we've got some contracts sitting out there as support. So as long as this doesn't reach the top of the L2, 64.67 looks like a pretty solid support area. But if this does start to sell off up here at the low 70s, then we could see 64.67 leach up. There you go. We just lost 2 positions. So as this comes back up to the top here, if it sells off, then what likely will happen is that floor will no longer be there and cannot support the price action. So the price action will right through it. Get here. This has really been moving very nicely today or this morning. All right, here we go. 64.67 coming up to the top here. Now, if this gives way, we should see a flush through the area. Where is level 1? What does that mean exactly? Yeah, we don't use tools like that, just support and resistance. Which ultimately gives you the same thing. Okay, so 64.67 still holding tight here. So this range is looking like it's pretty good, at least for now. But they are fighting pretty hard at this area. Morning, Kelly. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that, Mark. Covered there. All right, so we're just hanging out here. Oil moves pretty slow until it doesn't want to move slow. So this could take a minute or two for this to figure out what it wants to do at this level. Oh, man. Got to change my stuff. All right. Says it updated. There we go. All right, so 64.67 at the top of the L2 now, starting to break down. 10 contracts left. 5. And they're trying to keep it up there. 3, 2. And broke. All right, so what we get from here now, we've got a real fist fight here at this level. Got both buying and selling, trying to keep price moving in their preferred direction. Oh, okay. 64.92, huh? All right, put that on here. 492 was a monthly level, Mark says. So we'll get this up here and we'll say text. The month key level right there. To go. Thank you for that. So yeah, knowing your levels, you could have played a retracement off of that key level there and rode this thing all the way down to support. Now, this could be our support bounce. And again, not to put too fine a point on it, but this is a beautiful W pattern going on right here. And there's our support bounce right off of that zone. Good candle closure, but the next candle started right back in the zone, so no strength to the upside. You can't see that real tight here. So good candle closure outside of the range, but the next candle started at the base of the candle that printed prior. Not a strong start to the move out. You can see we wicked up to the top of the range and came right back down to our starting position and are still showing weakness. Doesn't mean that we won't pop out of here. Like Mark was actually trading oil this morning, and that's why you know what those levels are. Dude. Been a while back to your first low. Yeah. Love and music. I'm guessing that's what do I trade? I trade anything that moves, basically, at this point. I started out with micro ES back in the day and realized very quickly that I didn't know what I was doing, so I took a break and spent the next 7 months or so just learning structure. Pure structure training, watching the charts move. I started trading M&Q for the volatility. The reason being is that the higher ATR on a single candle scalp on a micro, I could get some decent value out of that. But then again, you also get the same in reverse, right? You can get punished pretty hard if you're in the wrong spot. Look at this beautiful bounce on oil out of this range that I was talking about here. Perfect retracement bounce, bang, bang. So then I went to M&Q, and in M&Q, it really forced me to hone in on my entries. So unexpectedly so, I got a lot better at my entries simply because of the threat of getting my face ripped off by a highly volatile stock ticker, or futures ticker rather. Did I fall asleep? I got some sleep, Callie, a little bit. So I did M&Q for the longest time. Use that to build up my small cash account, and got a nice healthy payout out of the prop that I was running there for a while. And then I closed that account down, and I just want to trade cash at this point. I like the coach's rules and nobody else's, as Mark would say. All those silly drawdown rules and this, that, and the other thing. When you can and cannot trade, I'm over that. So here we are in oil. We're coming right back up. Now I expect to find resistance right here at the level that it's at. Reason being, talk about this, is that right here in this range, in this level here, I've got body closures both here. I've got a wick here, wick down test, wick and a body, relatively close body closure here. So at 64.78, I expect there to be some level of resistance. Now, the key here is something I want everyone to take a peek at that I'm sure most are ad nauseum tired of listening to me drone on about, but we take our high and our low, and this mean right here is where I would expect to find some level of resistance, and that level that I snapped where the body closures was only 3 ticks away. So right in here, if we can break and hold above this area from 64.75 to 64.78, then we'll have a continued upside move, maybe take this high out. But if we can't hold up here, then this could quite literally be a bounce, check of the mean, and then a pull for a continued pull down to take out this low. So nice bounce. The real question is, was that just a recheck of the mean of the overall move to come down and then create a new low here and come down and start looking at taking out 64.37? Day trade AVGO, Jay Harris over there. Oh, Broadcom. Yeah. So I take it you day trade options then, because if you're trading shares, you've got a very large account. Got some nice movement to it. Not in a position at the time right now, Wavy, but thank you for asking. We don't use the MACD, so I don't use any of that terminology. We just keep it simple. Support and resistance. So you do options. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this has got some great movement. Beautiful EWO right out the open. Could have caught the upside on the return. Yeah, great entry for EWO to the upside. The only problem there is getting through VWAP. But as long as you weren't trailing your stop too tight, you could have survived this and still been in that EWO all the way through the night. Although options, if do your options expire at the same day, or are you doing a week out? I'm guessing you don't hold anything overnight. Do I see anything for today? Well, given the current downtrend, you'd have to check your news. So make sure that you're up on your news. Do they have earnings today at all? Okay, so their next expected earnings report is in March. So their last earnings report, they beat earnings by a substantial amount. 28.2% increase year over year, exceeding expectations of 17.46. So they nearly doubled it. AI revenue. Wow. The company announced a 10% increase in its quarterly dividend to 65 cents a share for the fiscal year of 26. Nice. Let's see, Q1 26 expectations. Now let's say EPS 1.88 to 2.03. Continued revenue growth potentially driven by 8.2 billion in anticipated AI semiconductor revenue. All right. So fiscal year 26 outlook. We have some expectations out there for $8.46 EPS for the full year of 26. That's significant considering that in 25, shoot, they're below $2. That's crazy growth. So just from a technical look here, you are coming down and to a support range here. I would say right around starting there at 329.80. So as long as you can maintain 329.80 to the upside, you are going to find resistance at this low right here, where you can see the current price action in pre-market is just kind of hanging around this area at 330.56. So next area of resistance will be right here at 331.02 to the upside. Definitely be taking a look at these highs here at 331.63. Next lows of any concern would be 329.36-ish, right around in there. You can take these lows here, which is the start of the top of this wick candle here. Now, this wick candle is going to present an area. Let me do this. An area of support. Okay. It was our largest pull and recovery bounce. So there's a lot of buying pressure right in here. So if this were to come back down to this range, that would be something I'd be looking very closely at. That is 328.90 to 328.11. How much is it to get Tradeify funded? Your nerves are bad. Okay, so you do week out. All right. Well, that gives you some time. So you're getting away from a little bit of time decay at least. How much is it to get Tradeify to get funded? Well, if you use the code ADT at your Tradeify checkout, you can do the Lightning funded accounts, and those are instant funded. So you can go right to funding for those. And you get a pretty heavy discount if you use Coach's affiliate, which, by the way, is if I were to look at it, the here, nope, that way, down over there. Tradeify ADT code. Okay, use that at your checkout. It'll get you 30% off. No, not at all. You can go straight to funded. Let me show you. Since you've asked, we'll show you what we mean. Go to Tradeify. All right. Come all the way down to the account types. Okay, so choose your account size, do the Lightning funded. And at any one point here, you will get, with the code ADT, you'll get the discount. It'll get you the cheapest possible price. Now, with these Lightning funded accounts, the way that they work is you have a goal to meet, but once you meet that goal, you can request payout. And you don't have to fund the account. You don't have to pass an eval and then pay another amount of money to fund the account like you do in some other prop firms or challenge scenarios. I have access to a select account, a 100K select account that is a little bit different, that does have a profit target. Once you hit that profit target, then you can choose how you want to run your payouts, whether it be daily or every 5 days. So there's a couple of different options out here, and this one is a little bit cheaper option if you wanted to work in that direction. But it is a monthly expense until you hit the profit target. Once you hit the profit target and choose what kind of payout structure you want, whether it be daily or every 5 days, then the monthly expense goes away. It's just trading on their cash. On the Lightning funded accounts, again, they're a little bit more expensive because they are instant funded. They're straight to funding. So on the 50K account, what you can do is come up here to the Help Center, go to Accounts and Rules, go to Lightning funded accounts, and that's where you'll find your information. So on the 50K account, you have a daily soft breach of $1,250. The overall goal on the 50K accounts, I think, is $3,000. It doesn't say that directly here, but to complete the profit targets and achieve payouts for these accounts, you got to click here. So once you click there, then it gets you to the account payout policy, and now you get to the rubber that hits the road. Okay, so in order to hit your first payout goal, you will need to trade up to $3,000, at which time you can then take out up to 50% of that. Your next payout goal, if say you take out 50% of the 3,000, now you have 1,500 left in your account. In order to get to your next payout goal, you need to trade up to $2,000. Now, there's some consistency rules and so on and so forth. So these particular accounts have a 20% consistency rule, which means you're going to take 5 days minimum to get to your payout. Good morning, Wade. Hey, popped out over there in TikTok. Good to see you guys. So if you were in a 50K account and you were in the Lightning funded account, your first goal to reach is $3,000. Now, 20% of $3,000 is how much? $600, right? $1,000 times 0.2. So every day you cannot exceed $600. Okay, so on the 50K account, you set your take profit, you set your daily profit target to $600 or a little bit over to cover fees. And so 620 bucks or something like that. Once you hit that, if you're in a trade that's running and it's running in your direction and it's doing really well for you, and you hit that $600 in that one trade, you're done for the day. Your profit target has been hit. You're out. Peace out. Done deal. Do that 5 days in a row to get to the $3,000, and you can take a 50% payout of that. To do it again, your next payout goal is $2,000, but your overall profit target now is 25%. So it goes up a little bit. They allow you to trade a little bit more, right? On your third payout, your profit target after 4, so this is the after. On your 2 and over, I'm sorry, on 3 and over, your consistency now moves up to 30%. So 30% of your overall goal. So 30% of 2,000 is again $600. 25% of 2,000 is going to be 500, right? So at that point, your daily consistency tends to change a little bit until you get to your third payout, and then you're good to go. On your fifth payout, number 5, you're going to get moved up to live funding. Okay, so your account will get pushed to live funding and you'll be trading on your own money. So at that point, there are no consistency rules when you are in live funding. It's you want to you trade up the account as much as you want, take out as much as you want. You're running on your own cash. So the way that I would work these accounts, if it were me, not tax, financial, or investment advice, but if you're interested in these types of accounts, I would get one, get to pay out, buy another, get that one to pay out, buy another, get that one to pay out, buy another, get that one to pay out, so on and so forth. You can copy trade up to 5 accounts. Now, the reason why I would consider doing something like that is because your first payout pays for not only your first account, but also pays for your second account. Okay. And then you just consistently trade up. And then once you get the 5th one up to live funding, that moves over into, I'm sorry, once you get that one up to 5 payouts, first one moves over to live funding, and you still have 4 that you can trade with in that direction. So if you were copy trading all 5 of them at the same time and all 5 of them get to payout, what they do is they mash all 5 accounts into one account, and that becomes your live cash account. Do you have to trade certain futures, or can you trade anything you want? So Tradeify does have limitations to the type of tickers that it allows you to trade. First and foremost, which I was really bummed about, is micro silver. They won't let you trade micro silver. But I do have a list in our futures lounge for those of you that have access to it of the tradable futures for Tradeify. So right here is a list of all of the Tradeify approved futures that you can trade on those accounts through Tradeivate. So there you have it. And nowhere on here is micro silver, and I was really sad about that. But you can trade the big one, which is highly over leveraged for a small account like that. I would not recommend it. You know, having a soft breach of, what was it, $1,250? Back to the previous page. Yeah, soft breach at $1,250. Well, when you've got a ticker like silver that pays out, let's do some math so that people don't get silly about this. So the payout on silver every 5,000ths, come on, and it's $25 a tick. Okay, so it's not going to take very many ticks for silver to come up and eat your lunch on an account like that. Now, this isn't a beautiful uptrend. I missed that. Wowzers. So, yeah, you want to be super careful about the commodities or tickers that you are trading. Hey, Papa Todd, ADT pre-market Zoom now open with ADT VIP. You know it. We've got our stocks and options crew, even though you can't do options this time of the morning. We've got our stock crew over in the VIP Zoom, kicking it with our moderators over there, making some money. I'm asking them if anything's running, but I can just check right here. Looks like we had Serena Therapeutics. Nice little pop off of support here off of the 200. Affecting the 200 nicely. Yeah. Let's see. Ooh, GCTS got a nice little run this morning to the upside. Not really much else. Yeah, cool. So there were a couple. This is the most promising one. This one's only $1. This is $4. These are two nice stocks for small accounts that you could be scalping right now. This particular one right here, break and hold of the 9 to the upside, towards some cash holder there. But the real move was this morning right here. That was the one you wanted to be a part of right out of the gate. GCTS looks like we got a nice bounce off the 9 here and continuation, consolidation up here a little bit, but then the continuation to the upside before we hit $1.51 and are coming back down to find support. So just like we do in the future side of things, we can take a horizontal line. Where am I going to find support? I could find support here. And here. Here. All the way down here, bottom. Looking over here at the L2, I've got support showing up at $1.21, which is right where the 55 is right now. So chart's a chart's a chart, right? No big deal. Oh, did it go right back to the monthly level on oil? Oil. Yes, it did. Love that. Kind of a messy bounce out of that area that I was talking about earlier, but we did get our reaction and it did finally move up. And rejecting again. Good morning, Timo. Good morning, Trader Kevin. Well, you're welcome, Harris. I'd say averaging between 300 and 800 a day is a really good day. So, sir, that would retire me from my day job. Yeah, and my wife. So, Miguel, did I catch all of your questions there with Tradeify? Yeah, you can do minis, but I wouldn't recommend it on smaller accounts. It takes one candle. You're doing minis to blow one of those smaller accounts. I'll give you for instance. Okay, so over here on silver, we go. Oh, this here. So this candle right here, you were doing a mini. That candle is 85 ticks. So 25 times 85, that's $2,125. If you're on the wrong side of that one candle, you just blew the account. And that's one contract in E-mini. I don't see any advantage, Timo. Once they force you into live funding, you might as well move all that cash over to your own cash account. Oh, so in that one particular account, Miguel, it has a soft breach. The daily limit soft breach is $1,250. But in order to lose that account, it would be a $2,000 max drawdown. So you're basically working with a $2,000 account. And on a $2,000 account, I would not be trading any minis at all, just for risk management sakes. And don't forget that when you sign up for these accounts and you actually link them into Tradeivate, Tradeivate has great risk management tools. Okay, there you go. I'm in my personal cash account, so I don't want any of my account numbers shown. But you have the ability to set daily loss limits, which I highly recommend that you do. And on a $2,000 account, you should not be losing in a prop firm. If you follow coach's rules, it's 1 to 3%. The 1 to 3% of that is going to be what? $20 to $60, right? So $60 max loss limit on that account will help you preserve that account. It'll lock you out, and you won't be able to access trading in that account until the very next day. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot of money because it isn't. The reason for that is in our cash accounts, it would take literally 15 years to blow a $2,000 account if you kept yourself to 1 to 3% loss per day. And if you follow coach's rules even further, you have 2 red days in a row, you take 30 days off. So obviously, if you're having 2 red days in a row, you're missing something on the charts. You're not trading with the right mentality. Call it what you want. But if you keep it to 1 to 3% of daily loss every day, you'll never blow the account. And look at silver popping off. Oh my goodness. New highs. Oh, I'm so bummed I missed the entry on this. Now we're breaking out of the top of this range, which was the previous high. And then we've got all the way up here to the new high of the day. This beautiful move on silver, just climbing so comfortably. These are the kind of moves I like to get in on these bounces. So I get these great big volume candles to the upside, protect the trade right away, and then just watch. I don't have to scalp. I don't have the stress of an 80 tick stop loss. And in this case, it would be at least 50, which is a $250 loss on a micro contract. Which again, Miguel, speaking to the point, if my stop loss were to get hit on this silver trade for 50 ticks, well, 50 times $5 per tick on the micro silver, if you could trade it through Tradeify, that's $250. Just violated my loss limit. One trade. And this is a micro, but it has the payout of an E-mini. Let's see. So $2,000 on the 50K account. Can I buy 2 mini contracts of crude oil? Yeah, you can. You can buy up to 4 on those accounts of anything that you find tradable. So just have a $2,000 drawdown. You have to be careful that you don't hit that. The soft breach will close out your, liquidate your trade. Say, hey, by the way, you're super close to blowing your account. But I would not be trading minis at all. Stick to micros. And you can make a lot of money in micros, trust me. I mean, the payout on oil and the micros is $1 a tick. So in this move right here in oil that we were just watching, there's that pull right back to the same support zone. Okay, so on this move up, the last move, tool I want. This last move, if you caught the whole move, that would have been a $30 scalp on micro oil. So you do a couple of contracts in there, that's $60. Okay, this move down here, let's say you get in here, you ride it all the way up to the level, that's $50. So that scalp right there, that's $100 with 2 contracts in micro. Obviously, the more contracts you have, the more you can make, but also the more you can lose. So it's important that when you pick your entries, you're picking your entries off of areas that are clear bounce areas. Okay. This one was expected, but it was messy, right? So we did get our move up, but we were up and down the whole way before we finally got 2 candles to the upside and then one that wiped them all out. So these are your better moves here and here. And because it's futures, you can ride it all the way down here, right? So this particular move right here in micro oil would have gotten you 77 ticks. So that's another $77 per micro contract. You know, you string a couple of trades like that together and you got your $600 in no time on that 50K lightning funded account. And again, I wouldn't be messing around with minis unless you absolutely nail the entry, because a pullback in the minis could blow the account. Be super careful there. Good questions, though. Appreciate that. All right. Thank you for the support, everyone over on TikTok. If you got any questions over there, please let me know. That was kind of a long discussion. I'm going to come back and read through some of these here. Hey, Malia, how are you? Good to see you. Pop over to gold real quick if you want. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. Yeah, let's go take a peek at gold. Now, first thing I like to do is figure out where my overall moves are. Look at the daily. Gapped way up on the daily. Holy moly. I want to see. Sunday. Eight. We're in contract switch. That's what the gap was. Contract switch. Here we go. All right. Problem with the contract switch is that it doesn't give me all of the history that I'm looking for in some respects. That's out. But we do have a huge gap from close to where this one started. Lots of buying, no seller's wick on the bottom side of that daily candle. So this has been a straight up move all day long. Session long, I should say. Look at this. What a Jiminy Christmas. Throw a micro contract in that. Right. Okay, so our 1 hour, we're now starting to consolidate up here, where we've got some ups and downs, created a new high, pulled back a little bit, finding support. Overall, it's looking like we've got a relatively strong support level right here at 5,500. Nice psychological level too for 5,500. We'll make that a gold. Oops. Okay, gold level 5,500. Bang bang, just like that. All right, so We got 5,500 acting like pretty strong support. At that for now. We got this huge seller's wick right here. Okay, on the what am I on? 30-minute. And you can see that this wick is managing the price action within here. So again, as we break this down, if I go down a minute, you can see how prevalent that area is. Okay, so this is a 30-minute zone. I can even tighten this up if I want to, but the gist of it is that we've got really strong support and resistance down here at 55, basically 39, 55.40, with our mean at 55.83, 84. So that's really going to be where we want to break and hold above, and that's pretty solid for all of this action here. Okay, resistance, 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 break up and hold, test the new high, break all the way back down through, find support off of that key level at 5,500, back up into the range, key level again at 5,500, back up into the range. So we've got some really nice movement on gold this morning. If you know your levels, you could be playing these range and channel trade this pretty effectively. Right now, I wouldn't be looking for an entry at the moment, and where it's at. Yeah. Turning on coaches indicators, you can see that we've established the pre-market high, and it's acting like a pretty strong resistance level. Establish that. Looks like we established it back here, but it's really tied to 4 o'clock. So this would have been the first tap of it, but that is a level 55.73.74, which is where all of this traffic is coming from right here. Over. We can see the resistance at this area right in between that and the mean. This right up to the mean is going to be our challenge to break and hold above. So if I were looking for an entry on gold, honestly, I'd like to see it come all the way back down to the bottom side of this zone, try and catch a bounce like this. But I wouldn't be in a short at this time either, because you've got loads of support from all of these highs here, here, and here. And this wick buy, or this buyer's wick right here from the last time we were down here. Not to mention you've got the center of the trend channel, 55 and VWAP all right here. I would not be looking for shorts. Just let it figure itself out. Break and hold below VWAP, take it down to the bottom side of the range, maybe even the bottom of the trend channel. But while it's up here, I'm not looking for shorts. Now, if this breaks and holds above the 9, not very far to get to pre-market high at 55.73.4, but you could make a quick scalp to that level. But again, I would want to see a break and hold above 55.73.4, try and come up to the top of the trend channel and take out the mean of that move. That makes sense? So here's the pull. But again, we've got a lot of support here, so I wouldn't be messing with it just yet. Allie, no, not just yet. We're gonna wait. This is where you can get chopped to pieces. Trying to catch the momentum, then you get stuck by an indicator, it pulls back, you freak yourself out because it's pulling back, and so on and so forth, because you don't have conviction on your trading plan. Well, right now, what I'm seeing, if I take the indicators off, the first thing I notice, rounding over. Okay. We stopped making new highs. Candles got nice and short. Couldn't make the new high. Pulled back. Came up. Checked the midline of this candle right here. And pulled out of that. So if I were just doing this off of structure, this would have been my entry right here. right here on that retest and pull. But again, the problem that you run into is you've got these wicks right here, and it's squarely in that support zone. So break and hold below that is necessary to make sure that you don't get caught in the chop. No entry here. Now let's turn on the L2. Hold. And you can see we've got support at 55, 56.8, 55, 56.8. 55, 56.8 is right here. Right at the bottom side of that range. None of us here at American Dream Trading are licensed tax, financial, or investment advisors, and thusly can't tell you when to buy or sell any commodity, ticker, or vehicle of the trading nature. There's a nice bounce response right out of support. And taking this and looking at the indicators, this is my bounce. Breaking up through all these indicators, I see strong conviction to the upside, and I've got a goal of 55.65 to the upside. So my next candle, if this was on a 1 minute, my next candle for the 1 minute would be a break and hold of the 21 to the upside, and this would be a nice run through the center of the trend channel. If we get the oomph. Oop, late on the entry, rats. So we're going to ride this out. Got a 50 tick stock here on stop on a 41 ATR. We'll see if we can get this to continue to the upside. I'm looking for 56.69. Slow on the button. And again, this is one micro contract, and I've got the dollars on here so you can see the impact of the trade and how it works out. I do have a 50 tick stock here, which is about 9 ticks outside of the range for this. And again, I am looking for this to come up to 55.70. Yeah, 55.67.3 up here on the L2. There's a resistance area right up here, so I want to see a strong conviction to the upside. Seeing it. Oh, baby. There we go, 55.66 to the upside. I see a goal here, 55.66. Need to get that to the top of the L2. Pop up. Ready for that to pop, and then we'll just take it up. This breaks down to the bottom side of the trend channel. It'll likely stop me out. Okay, what it is. This is a resistance area up here. I did not take that into account. Ridiculous me, right here. Lots of support right here. So my direct entry point is right on the resistance line. Up. And I'm well sized for my account. So even if this does stop me out, I'm okay with it. We are seeing weakness up. All right, well, not a terrible doji candle there, but promising either. There we go. Get your legs. No. So that's gold. It's super volatile. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Sometimes you can catch really nice moves where it'll just climb or decline, nice and smooth, candle or shoulder on shoulder movement all the way down and all the way up. This is why we have our stops. Patient. There we got a candle closure above that line that I'm sitting at. That's the pop I want. There. Now I can do a couple of different things. You rat. If it were to continue up, I would have taken that normally if I weren't teaching. But since we're discussing this, if this were to continue up and I sat here and I sat through all this little consolidation, we finally got our nice pop right up to pre-market high, I could then manage my stop and protect my trade. You want to be careful with doing that too soon because you get stopped out a lot because of the volatility, as you can see. But I am looking very closely at this range right here. I want to break and hold up into this wick bottom. And you can see we spiked up into it, but I want to close up here. I want to see it close. Come on, get up there. Now, once we break out of this range, here we go. I'll move my stop up. Now my trade is protected. And on one micro contract, I don't know anywhere else where you can make 40 bucks in like 3 minutes. So I'm well protected. I've got it right here at the bottom side of this candle, which is the underside of this range. The beautiful part about this candle move, this is the one I was really looking for, is this has no wick on the bottom side. So sellers weren't even involved in pushing this down, and it's shoulder above shoulder the previous candle. Now, big wick here. Lots of rejection right up and through here. Potential anyway. Right there. Now we did close in the zone. If this snaps back at me, it's okay. I am actually a little too tight on my stop. I like to protect just for fees. That way I allow it to breathe and do its thing a little bit. But again, I was hoping for a continued motion up. Get these buyers involved, get them waking up this. Get up there. And again, I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to learn and teach myself patience to allow these breathe backs to happen without getting out of a trade because, you know, breathe backs are part of it. And there we go. So we couldn't make it out of the range just yet. And again, if I were scalping this, I would have taken it as soon as I started to see this wick come down. But I wanted to show you how to protect your trade and what happens in these resistive areas, such as this. Big deal. And it will likely continue. Right. Well, we're getting to be close to 8 o'clock here. I've got to get to something that I don't really like to to talk about. There's where we wanted to be right there. And that was the move right there. So thank you all for joining me. I appreciate your time this morning, hanging out with me. 36K in likes. Love that. Thank you for all the support and the viewership. You guys are doing great. I really appreciate all your time and the support and the effort. Ooh, big seller's wick. Look at that. Wowzers. And that's why we use our. All right. With that, we're going to call it. Thanks very much. We'll see you next time.